Do you ever wonder how the body heals itself? You have illnesses and then you get better, or you have a fall and you get better, or something is wrong with your heart and then you get better. Do you ever wonder how the healing takes place? I mean, I don't know that a lot of the prophets, there are a lot of healers, faith healers, that are able to use tremendous amounts of energy that is channeled through them to actually heal. And I've watched a lot of these videos because recently a friend of mine told me about something like that. The power of the mind to heal the body is amazing. If it is your mind that actually causes the sickness, then it's in the mind to heal. It reminds me of the conference we went to, Ellen, do you remember? When someone told you,
Oh, yeah.
huh?
Yes.
Well, somebody told Ellen that she had a terrible illness and she was not going to survive
I had a blockage in my heart or something.
something like that.
Yeah,
You were not going to do well.
crazy, yeah.
Something crazy. And the next time she came, she was like, oh my God. I'm like, what's this? I said, well, I am telling you that you are perfectly healthy and you're going to live till you're 90. Now, who are you going to believe? We cause the illness in our body because of the stress that we hold. You don't realize it. You don't realize that the cancers, the heart blockages, the brain tumors are coming because of your accumulated stress. If you were able to clear the stress, see, the stress is such a funny word because you can't find one illness that's connected to it. It's a bunch of unexplained illnesses that have a common root, and they call it stress. So you might hold your illness where you have problems with your digestion, you might have a heart problem, you might get the cancer, you might get something else, a cold, bronchitis, pneumonia. Each one of us manifests disease in different ways. And have you ever heard of people just healing themselves through faith? I've seen it a lot. If you go to India, especially, go to different temples, whether it's temples or churches, they have tremendous belief that if they do something, they will get healed. So they'll go to this temple and roll on the floor and put steel bars through themselves. They'll do a lot of physical penance and physical torture. Climb up a hill to go to the mountain, to go to the temple. I've been to Guadalupe where they've gone on their knees, walking for miles in Mexico before they, come to the shrine. I've seen so much of this. In India, we grew up even with the Muslim tradition. You see them walking on hot coals. They think that if they do something like that for God, that they will heal. But what is happening inside? What is that invisible, silent force within you that's doing the healing? There is something. There is something. Sometimes it's inexplicable. We met a friend recently who told us that someone in his family had was diagnosed with cancer, and that the Sloan Institute had given that person 3 months to live. And they called in their friend Patrick, who is the son of Jesus, the Brazilian faith healers in that tradition. He came, he did something with intense power with his eyes closed. But the next scan was clear. No sign of the cancer. Now something has cleared up the scans, because the scans don't tell lies. I interviewed someone when I was doing my book from Bosnia, with severe MS. At the age of 28, he went from being one of those, having a great time, having a great life, being unable to hold a toothbrush to brush his own teeth. And he met Guruji, Sri, and he learnt the breathing, which I teach at my workshops, similar to that. But he believed that breathing is going to heal him. So he just quit the medications. He quit the medications and he said, I'm going to heal myself with my breath. Every breath he took during the day, he was healing. He truly believed that he was healing. The energy changes. See, as soon as you've changed the way you think, as soon as you said, I'm not going to die, I'm not going to be sick, this is not a losing battle, this is not the end, I have so much to live for, I'm going to get better, everything is going to be fine. Something within you changes and the healing process begins. He became okay within a period of 8 years, 5 or 8 years. And if you read the book, I've written his story there. And he became a yoga teacher. Imagine, from having MS to becoming a yoga teacher. That's a tremendous achievement. And the healing was simply his own faith in it. Your mind is extremely powerful. It can heal anything. The body responds to prana. And 2 amazing sources of prana, there's 3 actually that are readily available. One is sunlight, natural sunlight. The second is breath. Doing the pranayama exercises increases the prana within you. Prana is subtle energy. It is not to be confused with breath. The breathing allows the prana to rise. The prana rises from the base of your spine. That's the healing force. And the third is nutrition, what you eat. You cannot be living on a diet of chocolates and sweets and then expect that you will beat the diabetes. You cannot. You have to change the way you eat. You have to change the way you think. And yes, it's hard in the beginning. It's extremely hard to stop the things you love. But you have to do it if you want that quality of life. Because all of us, if we have good health, that's one thing that we don't have to worry about. Right? That's one thing that we don't have to worry about. How do you improve your health? See, the problem is that most of us think that if we go for one annual visit to the doctor, everything is taken care of. It's not like that. It's complete lifestyle. The way you live, that is Sanatana Dharma. That is what Hinduism is about. It is living the way we live. And see, what religion tells you is that you come to me, give me all your money, and I will heal you. What the gurus are also saying is, you come to me and I will heal you. But what is really healing you is your own belief and your own faith. That power that I always say belongs to you, that you are Godified, you are giving it to various things, the statue, that temple, this guru, that prophet, this. You're giving it to various people and you believe that that person is healing you. And that's fine. If that works with you, if it really works well in your life, that's okay. Believe that Shiva will heal you, believe that Ganesha will heal you, believe that Jesus will heal you, believe if you have to. If it makes you change the way your mind works. If it makes you get out of that negativity, saying there's no hope for me. I can never find happiness. I can never be okay. There'll always be a problem. Get out of that mindset and get into the self-healing. Every time you take a breath, send positive energy everywhere. 6 years ago, they told me I was getting a lot of knee pain. And they told me that I had a tear in my meniscus and that I would need surgery. It will never repair. It will never heal. But it did. It did. Day after day, the meditation, I would send the energy to my knee. I would send the energy to my knee. I would do the exercises too. Okay? You can't sit and wait for miracles to happen. You got to do your stuff. Exercise, eat well. You got to do all of that stuff. And have the belief, then it works. Right? You can't sit and say, I'm waiting for the miracle to happen. That's what most people think, that if you have faith in God, that the miracle will happen. There's that famous story, I'm sure you would have heard about it, about the floods that came and hit the city. And this man was given an evacuation order. It was on television and he didn't listen to it. Then it started coming on his phone, asking everybody to leave, and he didn't listen to it. And then, after that, there were loudspeakers. People were going around in loudspeakers saying, there's going to be a flash flood. Leave now. But he says, God will take care of me. God will take care of me. And finally, the waters broke. The river started coming in. His house got flooded and he climbed up onto the roof. And then there was this guy who came on a boat and said, come on with me. This is your last chance. Come on. Everybody's out of this place. You're the only one left. And he says, no. God will take care of me. But he got inundated and he died. And then he looks at God and he says, what happened? I believed in you so much. Why didn't you do anything? God says, I sent you 4 people to help. The guy on TV, the guy on the phone, the guy with the loudspeaker, and the fellow who came on the roof. You didn't listen. So God arrives in our lives in strange ways. We have to recognize the power of the universe that's coming to us in many, many different ways. Sometimes you do need the surgery. Surgery does wonderful things, but they'll cut it and they'll stitch it. But you do the healing. That doctor is not healing you. The healing comes from within. And it's not even physical healing. I think the worst kinds of scars that we get are the emotional traumas that we have. Healing from emotional trauma is much more difficult. Much, much more difficult. And sometimes, if you're not in charge of your emotions and your feelings and who you are, if you're not in charge of your mind, if your mind is your boss, you will succumb to your emotions. You'll find it extremely difficult to heal. And help will have to come from outside. But once again, when that help comes, will you be able to tell? Will you be able to recognize and listen to it? The help will come. But the actual healing you have to do. I can tell you, if you have cancer, stay away from alcohol or cigarettes or certain types of food. But you have to do it. You have a heart condition, don't eat fatty food. Give up the red meat. Go for a walk every morning. I can give you a lot of advice. But in order to heal yourself, you have to recognize and do it. Healing is a process that is self-propagated. You have to realize that you have tremendous power, tremendous energy, and you have only tapped into perhaps 1% of it. You can do amazing things just with the power of your mind. See, stay with the breath. You've just started it, right? Stay 1 year and keep a notebook of how many times you fall sick after you've started the breathing. There's definitely going to be an upward trend. I'm not guaranteeing it because it's a combination of many things. But I'll tell you from my own personal experience, ever since I started the meditation, the breathing, it's been a lot better. It's been a lot better. The physical ailments, small things come, which get healed. A little pain here, a headache. Small things. And most often, I can almost guarantee when I'm going to get it. Because I know when my mind is upset. Few days before the onset of any illness, you will notice that your mind is not in the right place. You'd have received some unpleasant news or having to deal with something that you don't like. Your mind is continually in turmoil. And a few days later, sure enough, the illness will come. The cold, the stomach upset, the whatever it is that you're suffering. So try it. Try meditating every day and actually healing yourself, using the power within to transmit energy where it's required. We practice that in meditation. When you come last week, I think when you hit the chakras that have got the congestion, and of course the throat chakra is the worst because immediately you cough, right? You can't control it. But if you can feel that tickling and do nothing, just observe and heal, it actually subsides. When I do the long meditations, I get it in my second chakra, the Swadhisthana, somewhere in the middle of my back, I can feel the pain. And it comes not as it comes as pain. For 2 or 3 days, I'm in agony. And then suddenly, as it releases, on the 3rd day of meditation, it just disappears. Like magic. And then I can see that, it's a clear meditation. So sit for 10 minutes every day, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever you can do. and just observe within your body and send the healing energy. Faith, courage, gratitude. Faith, courage, gratitude. Om Namah Shivaya.